Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. We are back in Italy. As you know, we go back to the United States fairly frequently because we have a lot of projects, kids, parents going on both sides of the ocean. So we live in Italy. And I wanted to present here just briefly. This is our olive oil. This is last year's harvest. We are, as we speak, harvesting the olives for the current harvest. So, sorry, I have a guest speaker. Well, maybe he won't speak, but now he's being shy. Anyway, for the current harvest, which is going on this week, we are, we're in full force. So there's so much going on. We're so busy. And I'm really excited to keep going back to visit the olive groves every day, see how the work is going. We take the olives every day to the olive mill, and that keeps the oil of very high quality. We don't let the olives accumulate for days before taking them to the mill, so that's a big advantage to part of our process. Of course, our olive oil has won top international prizes. I think you know that, in London and in Berlin. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that aside now because today we're gonna talk about jet lag. Jet lag. So people often ask me, and in fact, it was funny, someone just asked me today, Ellen, how do you all handle traveling back and forth between Italy and the United States so frequently? And so I think first of all, it is just a mindset, like this is just our life, this is what we do. And we don't build it up in our heads like, oh my gosh, we have a big trip coming and a lot to, we just know we're going, it's gonna be like that. And it's almost always fairly similar, the experience. But I do want to talk about how we handle arrival in the United States and how we handle return to Italy in terms of jet lag and so forth. So for most people, and I've read a few articles about this, for most people, going from west to east is more difficult, and going from east to west is less difficult. Of course, for some people, we're humans. We're 7 billion humans. There's a lot of variety. For some people, it's going to be harder. For some people, it's going to be easier. Some people are going to have zero problems. Some people are going to refuse to do it ever again. So everything I'm saying here is general and from personal experience. But from what I've read, for most people, it's more difficult to go from west to east, meaning, for example, from the United States to Europe for jet lag. And for most people, the opposite is true, that going from Europe to the United States, going from east to west, is less difficult. Now, I know there's some complicated scientific reasons for that, involving circadian rhythms and so forth, but I think the major reason for most people is that most of the flights from the United States to Italy or to Europe are overnight. And it's not always easy for everyone to sleep on an overnight flight. I know I used to be able to sleep 2, 3, 4 hours. I can hardly sleep at all anymore on a plane. And there's, what the factors are in sleeping on a plane, but it could be turbulence, it could be your neighbor, it could be a lot of things. But so I think no matter what, though, these are they're not really long haul flights as in, a 15-hour flight to Australia or to Asia. These are 7, 8, 9-hour flights. So by the time even if you're a good sleeper, by the time you actually get to sleep on the flight going to Europe from the United States, you're not going to have that much time. So even for someone who is a good plane sleeper, they don't have a full night's sleep worth of time, or they don't have time to get a whole full nights of sleep. So that's, I think, a major contributing factor. So we arrived in Italy again yesterday, got back home, I'm in my kitchen, and I had slept, I think, maybe 15 minutes, and my husband also, he says, I'm not really sure, but he says, I might not have slept at all, or I might have slept a little bit. In any case, we did not sleep a lot. And so what our regular routine is, no matter what, if we sleep 15 minutes or 3 hours, which is rare for us, we usually arrive in the morning versus midday. We get home by lunchtime usually. And so this is just kind of what our routine is. I know everybody might have a different arrival time. And so when we get home first of all, we know not to have planned a lunch or a dinner with friends or family, or really any kind of important appointment. We would not plan for that arrival day. So that's really important. We get home, we unpack our suitcases, we start a little bit of laundry, but just very low key, like no pressure, like I've got to clean the house or I've got to cook, very low key. And we try to just stay awake until lunchtime. We have lunch. We take a shower, sometimes as soon as we get back from the airport, or sometimes after lunch. Just kind of depends on timing and also kind of how disgusting you feel, because usually after playing, sometimes you just want to take a shower right away to get all the plane off of you. So we have lunch, and then a nap is critical. Now, be really careful with that. I think an hour is good, depending on how tired you are. 2 hours can be good, but not more than 2 hours. I know some people, they get to Europe and they sleep like 4 or 5, 6 hours. Don't do it. It's gonna be really hard to get back on schedule for all the successive days and nights. So, and I can tell you from experience yesterday, it was so hard to wake up from that nap. I had set my alarm and I just wanted to keep dozing. And I'm not a dozer, I'm not a snoozer after the alarm goes off. The alarm goes off whether it's in the morning on a regular day or after my nap on a travel day back to Italy, and I get up, but it was really hard. I just wanted to keep sleeping. And that's the dangerous feeling that you need to be aware of. Don't keep sleeping. Don't keep sleeping. So I think we went to sleep at like 2:30, and I set the alarm. No, sorry, 2. We went to sleep by 2 in the afternoon and slept until 3. My alarm went off, and I did keep snoozing until like 3:30. But again, I stayed within my limit, which is maximum 2 hours. So I slept a good hour, and I was out. Let me tell you, we were out because we were totally tired, really, really tired. And so we did make ourselves get up, and we had already showered, I believe. So we got up, we went to pick up the dog who was at the border, and we went for a walk, which I think is a great idea. Like, what you want to do is stay active without pushing yourself too hard on that first arrival day in Europe. So what you don't want to do is sit down and watch TV, or sit down and watch a movie, or anything that's sit in a cafe or sit in the hotel lobby. Like, don't do those things, because sitting is just going to bring down on you that sense of exhaustion. You need to distract your mind. You need to convince your mind it's daytime, because it is daytime, and you need to keep going. So we went for a fairly easy half hour, 40-minute walk with the dog in the countryside. We saw what was going on with the olives, the harvest of the olives. And that was great. It was just good. Fresh air is key to your arrival day. Okay. And then we got home, we looked at the computer a little bit, made some dinner, had dinner on the early side for Italy, but it was at 7:15. Usually we have dinner at 8:30, but since we were so tired, we had dinner at 7:15. And I can tell you that by 7:50, I was really falling asleep at the table. Like, I was like, let's play cards so we can try to stay awake. And we played cards, and that helped, but like, my body just wanted to go to sleep. So we took the dog out for his last short walk of the day, or of the evening, I should say. And then we were sound asleep by 10:30, which is actually kind of late. I would say if you want to go to bed early, that's fine. Like, go to bed at 9, but try to stay up until 9 or so. We do take melatonin. So last night, I took 6 milligrams, 3 milligrams of melatonin, because the thing about melatonin is that it doesn't make you sleepy. You already have to be sleepy. It's not a sonnifero, as they say in Italy. It's not going to bring on sleep. It's not sleep inducing, but what it does is it helps keep you asleep once your body has already fallen asleep. You don't feel drowsy afterwards. That's a great thing about melatonin. I take it for however many days, up to 2 weeks, that I feel like I am having trouble getting back onto schedule. So I will take it, for, a couple more weeks. I also take it on the other side. We'll talk about going the other direction, back to the United States momentarily here. I think that's it for Arrival Day. Arrival Day is just in Europe, in Italy, is really hard. So I guess the main points are, don't plan too much for that day. Take it easy, but don't take it too easy. Keep yourselves lightly active, lightly engaged. Caffeine, I did not have any, other than I had a morning coffee on the plane. I did not have a coffee after lunch. I didn't have a coffee after lunch today either, because I want to make sure tonight I go to sleep without problems. By the way, today, which is day after Arrival Day for me, I feel fantastic. I had a great night's sleep. I got all of that exhaustion from the trip and the jet lag out. Now the challenge will be sleeping well tonight. So I had no coffee after lunch. And I'll try to, I'll probably easily stay up till 11 or so, and I'll take some melatonin, and then I'll hopefully have a good night's sleep tonight too. Yeah, so I think that sums it up. Keep yourselves active, but not too stressed on that Arrival Day. And take a nap. It's okay to take a nap. It's okay. I know some people are afraid of naps. It's okay to take a nap. Just don't take a 5-hour nap. Okay, that's Arrival Day. When we go to the United States, of course, it's just a longer day. So you're not actually losing a night's sleep because it's not an overnight flight. You leave sometime during the day. Maybe it's 9 a.m., maybe it's 11 a.m., maybe it's even 1 p.m. There's some afternoon flights. I know, especially from Germany, we've taken those if we have to connect in the winter, because we don't always have nonstops to Rome in the winter. It depends on the city. And so when you arrive, you arrive maybe 3 in the afternoon, something like that. And it's already, to you, feels like it's after dinner, like 9 p.m. because it's a 6-hour time difference. And again, I know there's a lot of options, a lot of cities, a lot of time zones, but I'm talking about East Coast United States and Italy for the most part. So when we land, we go through passport control, which, oh boy, that was a mess this time because anyway, that's a separate call. But we were an hour and a half in the passport line. I let my global entry expire because my husband can't use global entry because Italians are not eligible for global entry. But anyway, that's another story. And I think I did a video on that a couple weeks ago. So anyway, we get through passports, baggage, customs, all that, and we get to where we're going. And then again, the goal is definitely don't take a nap because the remaining time you have is so short on the arrival in the United States day that it's a waste. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So the goal is to stay active without stressing yourselves out. So again, don't plan any important dinners, don't plan any important appointments. Just try to go for walks. What did we do that day? We went for a walk. We had dinner in, so we went out and we picked up takeout food, Indian food, as it happened to be. It's the thing I miss most about living in Italy is that I can't find enough amazing Indian restaurants. And in the United States, and I know also in Scotland and England, there's amazing Indian food. Anyway, mild distraction here. We picked up some Indian food. We had dinner. We lightly unpacked our suitcases, and we were in bed by 9, which again felt like 3 a.m. to us, having come from Italy to the United States. And then we slept pretty well. I think we woke up around 4:35, and that's fine. Like, it's okay to wake up early. Don't force yourself. If you've slept a good 6 hours at least, you're gonna be fine. And then the next day we felt good, So that's basically our routine with handling jet lag. I think, again, it's similar themes. Keep yourself active without stressing yourself out too much on that arrival day. Watch your caffeine. Maybe take in a little less caffeine than you normally would. I'm not saying don't drink coffee because I think that would be a cruel and unusual punishment to ask of anyone to inflict upon themselves. I have coffee every single day, including travel days. Just on the travel days, I'll just have it in the morning instead of also having it after lunch. So caffeine, keep engaged lightly, and melatonin I do take on that side of the pond too. In the United States, I do take melatonin for the same reason that I'm just trying to help reinforce that my circadian rhythms are adapting to where they need to be. So that's it. That's jet lag between United States and Europe, Italy, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a question or comment. Again, our olive oil for the current harvest is in progress, and we're gonna have some photos and videos coming out of that very soon. Okay, thanks everyone, bye-bye.